Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kastor's Corner. Welcome to our live toy of the day. I'm your host, Khalil. We're happy to have you guys here today. It's late. I started. I know I always say it's late. It's always late, right? I always put these off. Tonight, I actually had planned to do them a little earlier, but I have a new organization system, which required a lot more work to get things up and running because I'm just starting to implement it. So it took a little while to get all the stuff I needed to put it together and then do the photographs, put up the video, put up the page. The gallery right now is live on castorscorner.com. We'll be sharing some pics on our social media at Kastor's Corner. And of course, you can always listen to us on the Cornercast podcast on Apple Podcasts this week with our friends from Vasco Toys talking diorama building, which I thought was fascinating and informative. So Hasbro was nice enough to send us over the Lucasfilm's 50th. I know it's backwards thanks to the camera box. And so inside that box, they sent over Archive Wave, Wave 3 of this year, right? Because it was the kind of Empire with Thrawn, and then maybe it's Wave 2. So the newest wave of Archive figures for the year, and I loved it because I honestly hadn't gotten those things, and that's a story for tomorrow night. Actually, we'll talk about that tomorrow or Friday. But I actually didn't have most of the figures in this wave. I'm looking over here because they're over here. And I thought tonight would be a good idea to talk a little bit about army building. I know we talked about it around Christmas time when I got the speeder bikes, and we talked about the remnant stormtroopers from The Mandalorian. But I think army building, and I might have mentioned this before, army building definitely, and by the way, I know here are the toys we're going to talk about tonight. Army building goes back to the idea of what do we see on the screen, or what do we see on the comic book pages. And it's difficult, right? Like you have to really love the property, really be invested in the property to invest the money into these things, because these are $20 a pop. And although one of these, is it this one? I'll tell you in a second. No, let's see. I want to make sure I get the Archive one right. I marked it. Here he is. So this is the new Archive edition Tuscan Raider. You really have to love the property to army build. And I have found myself army building more and more lately. And in just about every property that I am collecting in some way, shape, or form. Because Legends is out of control. You saw that AIM picture with MODOK from the other night. So my AIM's out of control. So Marvel Legends is definitely like off the table, hands off the wheel. We're going over the cliff. I got 3 Sentinels coming. I might borrow a few more for photographs, depending on if they get opened. So like, army building is definitely a thing. And I can pinpoint the moment where it became a thing in my head. It was somewhere around Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back in the early 80s. And I remember seeing more than one stormtrooper on the shelf. And I remember asking my mom, or no. I was at home and we were watching Return of the Jedi on VHS. And there's that shot where Vader touches down, or the Emperor touches down on the new Death Star in Jedi. And Vader's there to welcome him. And they walk out, and that's that pan shot, that big shot from above. And there's like 100 or 200 stormtroopers there in costume on the landing pad. And the Emperor walks out, and they're all lined up. And I said to my mom, see, look how many there are. I think I need more. And she looked at the screen. She goes, you have one. That's all you need. And that stuck in my head. And for a very long time, I didn't army build anything. Growing up, never did it. When I became a teenager, really didn't do it. And then somewhere, I'm trying to think what was my first kind of like, I need more. It actually might have been Sentinels. the original Marvel Legends Sentinel. Kind of went a little nutty with that one. I think at my height I had like 6. I might have sold off 1 or some of the parts. But my friend Brian and I lucked into at least 5 or 6 each one night and took full advantage of the situation. And Brian knows what I'm talking about. No, we didn't steal anything. We got a good deal. Let's put it that way. And so I kind of went all in with that. And then the Hydra Soldiers came out, and then I was off to the races. And I've done it from time to time. I haven't been as consistent with any line except Legends or Marvel. The Marvel Universe figures. I army built the hell out of all the troopers when they had the Trooper 3-pack. I got so many of those. I might have more of those in Legends. I'm rambling. Anyway, so the figures. So Tuscan Raiders. I stopped at 3. So I owned this one and this one. And actually, ironically, Hasbro also gave me this one. So I bought 2 because I thought 2 would look nice with Luke and Obi-Wan for some kind of a display. And then I got 3 and I'm like, cool. And I wasn't going to get the 4th, but then Hasbro sent the 4th. So here we go. We have a little Tuscan Raider party here. And then the Mandalorian this season made them like really important in their storyline. So, you know, he's going to not only look good with Luke and Obi-Wan if I want to pose it or do some photography with it at some point when I maybe actually build my photo studio. Once the organization's done, my Mando figures are back there, or it'll look great with Mandalorian. And if we get a Cobb Vanth figure, like I just, you know, it'd be great to have all these guys for that. But then it comes to the point where you ask yourself, is the army builder worth it? And so another story time. Another figure in this wave is the Scarf Trooper from Rogue One. And so Bill and I went to, right, I want to make sure I got it right. Vintage Star Wars Black Series 15, Qui-Gon. Shore Trooper from Rogue One. I think it was on Scarf. Let me finish. Sorry, I'm getting all over the place. I want to tell stories. So Tuscan Raider comes with his rifle, and I think they're called gaffy sticks. And there are 3 different options for what they look like. They can have the kind of dark metal point. They can have the bright metal clubby kind of ending. There's better pictures up on the website. Or like this fin. It almost looks like an arrow club. So you've got a lot of options. So all your Tuscan Raiders will look a little bit different. So here we go. Troop building. Hasbro has a tendency, and it's not new. So G.I. Joe collectors, this is not a new phenomenon. Troop builders as store exclusives. And so this Shore Trooper from Rogue One was a Toys R Us exclusive, I believe, at the time. And Bill and I went out for Force Friday. I think, they didn't call it Force Friday. They called it something else, but it was Force Friday for the Rogue One prepare of characters. And, I didn't use them. And my goal, as I dropped everything because I didn't use him in a picture, because he didn't really battle these guys. My goal for that night was to get a K2SO, which I still love the figure. I think the more droids we get, the more fun it is. Army building droids might be a dangerous thing, but I love this figure. And Alan Tudyk, who is the voice, just knocked out of the park. Dropped it. There's a review. I dropped it. He comes with a blaster. But so story time, Bill and I go out and we're standing in line, and we're relatively close to the beginning of the line. I think we're like 4th or 5th. And I was going for K2SO, and he was going for these guys. And, they gave us T-shirts, and it was like dodging people, like trying to get to where we wanted to. And I'm like, Bill, I'll go this way, and Bill go this way, and we'll figure out how to get there. And K2SO was not hard to get, but this one was. By the time Bill and I had gotten to the shelves, somebody had beaten us there and scooped up all 6 of the ones that they had. And Bill stood in line, and God, I love you, Bill, but you started talking very loudly about how the guy ruined our night. And I think that was one of the first times where I think we had an honest conversation afterwards about it at the West Farms parking lot. We might have gone somewhere else afterwards. I think we did. And, we talked about what that meant. The idea that they made the store exclusive hard to get. And about a week later, one of our other local Toys R Us on the other side of the state had like an end cap of these guys. So they weren't that hard to get. But that first night, Bill just said something like, "Oh yeah, no, and I'm not going to swear, but if people like you didn't ruin the night, and oh yeah, no, I'm happy, except somebody decided to take advantage of all the exclusives." And it was one of the first conversations we had about that, and the climate that we find ourselves in today with G.I. Joe a lot is that somebody taking those affects you personally. And I think it's one of those times where we figured out that we had to separate the two, because we have a friend who shall remain nameless, because I think he'd be mad at me if I named him. But if you know me, you know exactly who you are. And you guys know who I'm talking about. We'll go into a store and scoop up whatever they have. So if they have 12 of these, he will buy 12 of these. If they've got 6 cases, he will buy 6 cases of them. And to check for paint apps to hand out to other people. And I said to Bill, I said, if the roles were reversed and our friend walked into the store and I needed one and he needed one and his friend needed one and his brother needed one and somebody else needed one, there's your 6 right there. So if said friend walked into the store, picked up 6 of these guys, walked out, paid for them, done, would you be mad at him? And the answer was no. And so that's always my whenever things get kind of crazy, I'm like, well, so-and-so does it. Is it bad when he does it? No. And then we kind of walk it back a little bit because we all get heated over certain things in certain situations. But I did not get him. He was not on my list. I wasn't sure Rogue One was going to be a good movie. And I wasn't sure I was going to invest the time. I got Jin. I got K2SO. I got Baz and Churrit. I did not get Cassian. So I'm looking forward to the eventual Rogue One Black Series wave that we might see, like we saw in Rebels last year, to kind of pick up the new real scan heads and complete the team. And please, come on, Hasbro, we need a Bodhi, right? Like, come on, it's time. And so I will have it, but I don't feel the need to army build these guys. So I think it comes down to personal preference and need, and I don't know how invested you are in it. I liked Rogue One, but I don't need 10 of these. I like A New Hope. 4 is what I need. If Hasbro wants to send me more, I will take them, but my own money. But does Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist need another 20 hand ninjas to fight? Yeah, they do. Do the X-Men need 10 Hellfire Guards to fight? Yes, they do. Am I going to need 20 to 30 shield agents? Yes, I do. So I think it's just all troop building is based on that. So these are now available at your local retailers. They are popping up at Target and Walmart. I actually ordered tomorrow's figures, extra of tomorrow's figures, because Hasbro hooked me and I needed a few more to army build. So we'll talk more about those tomorrow and why sometimes army builders that you don't need at first get a second life because of new properties. So thank you guys for joining us. You can check out a full gallery. It is live right now. The link is in the profile right below in the description. Check out a full gallery of these guys. Nice close-ups. And follow us. We are at Kastor's Corner. Hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. The more of you that join us and subscribe, the more cool things we get to do. unfortunately, subscription count is our new metric. So the more of you that subscribe and interact with us, we really appreciate it, and it lets us do more cool things, and then we get to share those things with you. So and that's part of this journey. And you can check out the Cornercast podcast on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to that too. This week with our friend Vincent from Vasco Toys, and last week with our friend Lacey Gillern, talking all things Star Wars. So may the 4th be with you, and revenge of the 5th today. Thank you for joining us, and join us tomorrow when we talk. I haven't decided yet. It's either retro, it's either vintage, or it's more talking army building and new life in those army builders. I'm not sure yet, but one of those things. It's going to be Star Wars for the next 3 days, and more stories. So thank you guys for watching. Go to castorscorner.com. You can get everything there, from the podcast to the social media to the gallery. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching, guys.